Good morning, everybody. I'm starting from around the corner and it's raining. I knew it was going to start raining today, but anyway, never mind. Hi, Cheryl and Luann. Hi, Chris. How you going? Jane. Hi, Mum and Dad. And Kari, Anya, Jane, Christine, and Lynn. All right, so we're just under 5 minutes away from starting. Hi, Julie. Got a misty morning. Depending on whether you love it or hate it, I don't mind the mist. I know people who absolutely detest the mist. But anyway, this is just up around the corner from where I live. And I probably should have turned the map off, but I don't think any of you are going to stalk me, are you? So you can actually have a look on the map if you want to see where I am. We're in Kangaroo Street, which is where, if you were on my very first tour when I returned to the mountains, I showed Kangaroo Rock, which is actually really faded, so I'm not going to bother taking you there. It's an Aboriginal carving. It's just up ahead, but really, really difficult to see. So here we are on Kangaroo Street. And yes, very misty. Just looking at this fence with wisteria growing along it. I love wisteria. I love the smell of it. I just hope the umbrella doesn't get whipped away in this gusty wind that keeps popping up. Yeah, I'll get to that, Jane. Short answer, we don't know. Anyway, but I will get to that. So this is our street. And we live right up the end there in the middle of that mist. Right where you can't see the end of the street, that's where we live. Just before I turned the camera on this morning, there was a couple of beautiful crimson rosellas on the grass standing right next to where I was. Just as I went live, they flew off. Yeah, we're staying in Australia for the time being, Joyce. We might plan some travel at some point, but yeah, for now we're staying in Australia. So we're in Lawson. We should just about get to our place right on start time. And as I said, if anyone was on my coming home to the mountains tour about 6 months ago, we actually walked along this street on that tour as well. So how's everyone's day going? Hi, Anu. Hi, Jill. Did I miss anybody else? Gregory. Hi, Gregory. It's a lovely area. Who was that? Kari. Yeah, it is a lovely area. We live actually right across the road from National Park. There's nothing but bush. In fact, I'll do a little detour and show you. There's nothing but bush between us and Clarence and Bell, about 20 kilometres to the northwest of here. So we were actually literally threatened by bushfires about 6 years ago and had to make the decision on whether to stay or go because, let me just show you. Good morning, Annette. We are still yesterday. Yes, that's right, Anya. So this is our place here. And just over here to my left is where the bush starts. So that's literally the Gross Valley across the road from us. And as I said, if you're looking on the map, you'll see that there's literally nothing but bush between us and the towns of Clarence and Bell to the northwest of here. 20 kilometres as the crow flies. And 6 years ago, when the bushfires were over in that area and the winds were gusting at 100 kilometres per hour, we had to make the call, stay or go. Oh, you're still at the Van Gogh. Annette, you're multitasking. Okay, I can see that we're just tipped over. We're already a minute in, and I really should turn the camera around and welcome you all. So wait a second. Let me come over here. This is our house. I'll turn around. Right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. And this is new for me, doing an at-home tour. And the reason I'm doing it, as I said in the description, is that we're leaving the mountains. We've got the house on the market. We signed with an agent yesterday afternoon. And this is the end of the mountains journey for us. So I thought I would introduce you all to my to the family home that we're selling, and talk a little bit about what our next, where's the umbrella? I want it out of view. What our next plans are, and your opportunity to ask me anything if you like. So before we begin, as always, I'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting today on the traditional lands of the Darug and Gundungara people, and pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. All right. Yeah, Annette, good luck with your Van Gogh tour. Feel free to pop the link either to that tour or to your channel into the chat so everyone can catch up with you at some point. Okay, let me turn around and turn the camera around. And here we are. Yes, I was living in Homebush duty at that time, and we moved back up to the mountains so that we could prepare the house for sale. We've changed the colour of everything and tidied up the front yard quite a lot. There we go. We had to cut down a whole lot of bushes and shrubbery at the front here so that the house has what they call street appeal. So there we have it. And in the front here I've got, what have I got? They haven't come up yet, but we've got raspberries and loganberries and thornless blackberries and all that sort of stuff. Just about to kick off. Good morning, Tariq. Who else did I miss? Tariq and the Bears have just joined. Thank you, Sarah. And Eva and Nikki and Sav. Yeah, Virginia, it is. And Una. Margaret. Hi, everyone. Well, yes, we are. So basically, in a nutshell, this was originally a 3-bedroom bungalow, probably built in the 70s. And at some point, one of the subsequent owners added an extension to make it literally double the footprint and turn it into a 7-bedroom house, which sounds a lot more impressive than it actually is, but you'll get to see it as we walk through that front room with the blinds down. We're not going in there unless something changes in the next 10 minutes. You can probably guess what that is. Yes. We had 4, at that time when we moved in 13 years ago, we had 4 teenage children. Hi, Robin. Yes, DT. Hi, Neil. All right, so when we first moved in, this was all that AstroTurf all the way along the driveway. So the family that owned the house before us were mad cricketers, and they used to use this to practice cricketing. Virginia, I don't know how tough I am. I think I'm still getting over it. We are, Annette. We're getting to it. We're taking it slowly. We're going from the front. So the driveway was a bit of a mess. We dug all this out and put gravel in. We've mulched everywhere. Mulch, so much mulch. Built up this garden bed at the side here that was just overflowing onto the driveway. And so this was the front half of the house, and that bit there right where the TV antenna is, that's where the extension starts. So it turned a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1 living room house. I can put my umbrella down now. Into a 7-bedroom, 2 living room, 2-bathroom house. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Ramona. And hi, Elizabeth. And the beautiful pool. I didn't use it much, but the kids did, and Richard did as well. Let's walk around the backyard. This is my favourite part of the house, and this is the part that I'm going to miss most, is the beautiful garden. And sorry, you know, you might see a little bit of detritus left from our efforts at doing up the place. Yes, Heather, that's exactly right. And welcome, Heather. Heather is my friend from Arizona, from Texas. Lovely to see you. I'm so happy to have you here. Heather visited the mountains while she was doing her world traveling, and it was very rainy. We didn't get to see the backyard that day, but we did give them sausages, and we played the Beatles, and we talked about Heather's distant relationship to Elvis Presley. And it was wonderful to see her here. No, it's not too difficult, but I don't do it. Richard does it, so we probably should ask him. All right, so we've kind of put this thing in here that is, I guess you call it garden art, an old wheelbarrow. So this is what the yard looks like now. Who else has joined that I've missed? Okay, and my daughter brought home this cable reel one day. It weighs a ton. We thought it'd be a great idea to turn into sort of like, you know, a table or something. That was a project that never happened. So it's staying. So that's our beautiful yard. We'll be sorry to see that go. Anyway. Yeah, Anya, I'm going to get to that. We're not sure is the short answer, but I'll tell you why in a moment. I'm going to find a place to sit down. Might even put the kettle on, make a cup of tea. I've got very wet feet. It's very wet out here. I love these. These are my favourite. I'm going to try and snip off some of these and take them with me when I go. Gorgeous rock lilies. Well, we're going to leave the mountains, Jill, and I'm not really sure yet, but we have a couple of options. And my orchids are just coming to the end. And this is the old Weber that's in the photo that I used as the pic for the tour. All right, let's get rid of this umbrella. Take my shoes off because we've got brand new carpet, brand new lots of things. Let's get these shoes off. Sorry, guys. We're really happy with it, Heather. It's going to be sad to leave. How's your yard looking right now, by the way? I haven't seen any pictures since you first built the house. I think you were just laying turf, the last pictures I saw. Shoes off. Okay, so there's the yard. Just some of you may have seen the photos where we just laid seed down and that was just bare. And we thought we were never going to grow any grass because the rosellas were eating all the seed. Anyway, it grew. That's what comes of throwing down a lot more seed than the packet recommends. All right, let's see who's joined me because I've missed a few names. Hang on a second. Tinder. No, yeah, the pool's fine. Gregory, we've got solar heating for the pool and a filter and pump that come on timer, and it's salt. It's a saltwater pool, so we don't have to be throwing chlorine in it constantly. So this is one of the bedrooms. We've got new carpet down everywhere. So we've got one. We've turned this space here. We've turned this into a kitchenette. And hopefully going to make it appeal to families who might want to have, you know, relatives come stay or turn it into a teenage retreat or even maybe put it on the market for Airbnb, that sort of thing. So we've got another bedroom here. This is all the extension That one's got the view out to the pool. It's fabulous, Heather. They've done a brilliant job. Hi, Kamuji. This one here. And then the fourth bedroom out the back, we've turned into another living room. So this is where you can divide the space. So this used to be a bedroom. So this used to be 4 bedrooms. We've put some privacy film on these windows over here. And the agent basically said, don't put curtains up because it makes the rooms look smaller. And they built this little alcove. This used to be, let me just open this door. This used to be a separate shower, separate toilet, separate basin area, and they've combined it all into one combined bathroom. And then there's a little alcove here for a small fridge for this back living area. So this is the 3-bedroom part at the back. But of course it is also a family home, 6-bedroom home. So in here we've got where the door would close if you're dividing the space. And I don't know if Heather, you might remember that door actually went through to the laundry. It was a really long corridor, but they closed off that door. So this is basically the family room. And the kitchen. And this is where they closed off the door. This is mainly for Mum and Dad's benefit. They haven't seen the house. So this is where they closed off the laundry. And there used to be, you used to be able to walk through there to the back section of the house. So the house is now definitely in 2 parts. And then just quickly, I won't go all the way through, but that's where the other 3 bedrooms are. Where's all my stuff? Well, okay, so that's the new bathroom area there. Heather, we've gotten rid of most of it. We actually gave away a ton of furniture. Yep, we gave away the kitchen table. That's gone. We're actually getting some new furniture delivered, the really cheap, tiny stuff that makes your house look huge. And then this is the lounge room. So we've got a new entertainment unit coming, another cheap entertainment unit that's white because we've been told to go with bland colours. And there'll be a cream-coloured sofa over here. And we've got all, yes, exactly, Jane, new blinds. We got rid of the big fan light and that big sort of hanging pendulum style light. Just put in, should put the light on. Where's the light switch? Over here. Just put in down lights everywhere. There we go. So that's basically the house. This is the front steps here. We came up the driveway. And yeah, so end of an era. End of an era living 23 years in the mountains. There's some of our stuff. Well, Judy, let me sit down. I will put the kettle on and I'll tell you all about what we think we're going to do. Let's put the kettle on first. Get the milk ready. So, this is basically, in a nutshell, this house is our super. I didn't see the kitchen. Oh, I thought we did. Sorry. This is the kitchen. This is me standing right over in the corner where a table would go. So I've got it's a round mat going to go here with just a small round 4-seater table. It's going to go in this spot here. That's coming on Saturday. Yes, this house is our super, Jane, because we were of that freewheeling, not very responsible era, went backpacking around the world, didn't save, went out to dinner almost every night, The wood floors have just all been sanded and lacquered. Joyce, yeah, they're beautiful. They've come up so well. We're so happy. We've got new carpet. Okay, superannuation. So everyone after, let me see, when did that start? Probably around about the early 90s. Every Australian was required to contribute to superannuation, and that's to plan for your retirement. Well, if you don't work, as in you're a mother of 4 children, or you're self-employed, as in my husband was self-employed as a sales consultant, you don't tend to be in any kind of mandatory superannuation scheme. It is a good idea, and there are tax advantages to putting your money into superannuation. But somewhere along the line, we never really did, and we weren't the most responsible with our money and earnings and what have you. But I did have a bit of luck with property. So we do own this house outright, but partly because we did cash in the very small amount of superannuation that we did have. And sorry, we're looking at a kitchen cupboard here. Let's look out the window or something instead. Possibly, Heather. I'm not really sure. I have heard of the 401k, but I don't know what that involves. Sorry, I'm doing all this one-handed, and then I'm going to go and sit down and put my camera on a tripod, and then I can talk to you rather than you looking at my stove. So, yes, the employers put the money into the superannuation duty, and it really depends on your employment situation as to whether you have some, any, or a lot. If you were lucky enough to work in any kind of government kind of job, you probably have a lot, but we didn't have very much. All right, so I'm going to head out here, and we're going to sit down on this chair where I can put the camera up on the tripod and then talk to you from this spot here. Okay, all right, so that was the house. So I said, we don't have very much super. Up. No, we were lucky that the kitchen was already newly done when we arrived, so we didn't have to do that. So yeah, we find ourselves in a situation where we had some equity in this house and a line of credit. And with that, we're building a house in my daughter's backyard, a granny flat. Thanks, Jill. So what that means is that we have option 1 is a 2-bedroom granny flat in my daughter's backyard in Newcastle. And that's going to start building probably, I'm thinking next month. It's going through council right now. So we're waiting on the approval for that. And it will take about 4 months to build. So all the furniture that we put into here can go straight into the granny flat. And then what's left over is what we're going to be living on, because we're basically retired. Government pensions don't kick in until 3 years from now for us. So whatever we make on this house is what we're going to be living on. So we're really hoping that the agent does a good job for us. Anyway, so whatever's left over, we hope we can buy at least one more property with, and that can be rented out, or we could live in it. Depends on where it is. But we haven't even started looking yet. So yeah, basically, once this is sold, the world's our oyster. We can go wherever we want to. We may travel. We think we might travel for some of the time. The prices went up hugely everywhere, Judy, as you know. Ridiculous increase in price, probably about 12 months ago. It has leveled off. There are not very many similar houses to ours in the Blue Mountains, and we're in a situation where city people are under a little bit of mortgage stress, and there are families. We're not far from a train line. It's still commutable to Sydney, so we're really hoping on that, that family desirability. Yeah, prices are up, but they're starting to level out. It's scary and exciting. It is, very much so. Um, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I like it. I like it. We've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. We have hardly anything. My mother might argue with you because we've got some boxes in her garage, um, and a single bed and some bags of clothes. Anyway, but we've gotten rid of so much stuff. If you could imagine, we reduced from this house, which was 7 bedrooms, to the 1 bedroom unit when we left here 3 years ago. Yeah, Heather, it's scary, isn't it? I remember you describing what you were doing, and that was when you were traveling. That was, I think, at the start of when you were starting to travel. And you have so much stuff to get rid of. We took stuff to the tip. We filled a skip. We gave stuff to charity shops. We gave stuff to people. Every time the kids came over, come on, you want this, you need this, or their stuff that they've just left behind in their parents' house. Take it with you. We don't want it. If you don't take it, we're going to chuck it out. All of that sort of thing was happening as well. So, yeah. Any other questions? Well, in terms of the bushfires, yes, there are certain areas that do come under threat. There's good education in the mountains as far as bushfire preparedness goes as well, in that there is not only the volunteer bushfire brigade, but there's also community organisations that ensure that newcomers to the mountains know how to prepare and what they need to do to be prepared. And surviving a bushfire there's a very good chance that you, at least, but also your house, are going to survive a bushfire. There's no reason why you have to be in any danger unless things are really drastic, and that's quite rare. People are interested in living in the mountains for a number of reasons, Greg. Either a lifestyle change, or because it's cheaper than Sydney, or because they want to get away from perhaps a large mortgage and free themselves up and give themselves a little bit of leeway in terms of, if you lived in, I'm thinking the northwest of Sydney, where you might be in a house that's worth $2 million, you can come up here and get something for under 1.5 or closer to $1 million. That's going to help you with your mortgage and give you a little bit of cash left over potentially as well. So those sorts of opportunities are there for people if they're prepared to think outside the square. Lucky to be able to live in your daughter's backyard in a granny flat. Yes, really lucky, Judy, but there's going to be a period of time where we need to find somewhere to live for about probably 3 or 4 months, and it might be her house. But she doesn't live up there yet, but she doesn't have a bathroom at the moment, so she has to finish building a bathroom. When I came to Australia, moved with 24 boxes, got rid of everything else. Yeah, and it's really freeing, isn't it, Jane? Oh, Laurie, it was such a process. Since we first moved out of the house 3 years ago, it seems like we've been continually getting rid of stuff for 3 years. It's taken so long. There was the big purge originally, but then we put stuff in a storage unit. How crazy is that, paying $300 a month for a year? And then eventually we got rid of most of the stuff that was in that storage unit. I think, Virginia, you're asking how might I do it differently. I really think that you need to be more decisive. At the time that you start to downsize, you have to be more decisive, I think. I found it really difficult getting rid of things like cookbooks. I've still got a ton of cookbooks, and I don't know why I keep them, because you can look up most stuff online these days. Maybe I'm thinking I might end up in a place that doesn't have the internet. I don't know. Photo albums, my goodness, they were hard to deal with. I had so many photo albums. In the end, we ended up ripping all the photos out of the photo albums, taking photos of them. That took ages. Some of the photo albums we still kept. The rest we've just thrown away. But we had 2 moving boxes full of photo albums. Yeah, I'm really glad. I am so glad that we have gotten rid of a lot of stuff, Virginia. I find it very liberating. I have maybe 2 boxes of things that are precious to me that came from my grandparents or that were special gifts. But prior to that, we had wall units full of stuff. And by the way, Heather, I've still got your shot glasses. And by the way, your the little bottle opener from Hong Kong is still on my fridge. Did you notice it? I should go back there and show it to you. Yes. Hi, Fliz. And yeah, you might have missed that bit, Fliz. We think we're heading to Newcastle, but we still have some decisions to make. It's a big move. 2 pallets to Ireland. Yeah, gosh, and you brought them back to Texas. And I bet it was all special stuff though, Heather. And some things you just can't part with. I'd love to reduce my life down to 2 suitcases, but that's not practical. But then again, that's what we travelled with when we travelled back in the late 80s. We travelled with a backpack and a suitcase. There might have been a bit of stuff in boxes at my mother's place back then too. Yeah, yes, I confess there was. Right, what do we got? Now I have started to get rid of stuff. Yeah, I think we all reach that point, don't we? You can shut that door if you want to. Yeah, the Richard's just coming through. I've got lights on and doors open everywhere that we normally have closed. It's still cold here. It's ridiculous. It's nearly November and it's cold. Sarah, I'm really sorry to hear that. But me personally, I say this a lot to people. I would rather lose my house in a bushfire than have it inundated by flood, because at the end of the day, it's just stuff. You are safe. Your house can be rebuilt. But God, I wouldn't want to do that cleanup after a flood. You know, the smell and the carpets and everything. People are going through that now out in Western New South Wales and right through Victoria and Tasmania, with flooding. And so far in Sydney this time round, we've missed it, but we've got 10 days of rain coming up, and who knows what's going to happen with the Hawkesbury River again, for the 3rd time this year. So, and I've booked a tour on the Nepean Bell next week. Let's hope the flooding doesn't affect the Nepean River next week. Judy, my cousin and hubby moved from northwest Sydney to Lura years ago because it was cheaper, and have subsequently subdivided and built another. They would have done really well, Lura and then subdividing. And commuted to Penrith. Yeah, Penrith is the nearest big centre, and that's a great move. To go from Lura to move to Lura and then work in Penrith is fantastic. Hi, Marie. Yeah, that's a great idea, Heather. I just need to find the time to do something similar. At the moment, I have favourite recipes that I find online bookmarked, but I've never actually gone through the process of actually photographing recipes, which I should do. I'd even be happy to share them. You know, they're only recipes. Laurie, you're contemplating downsizing as well. Problem is, I have my late husband's things as well. I know it will be difficult. It will be difficult, Laurie. And do you know what? I think sometimes in that situation, maybe you need someone a step removed, someone who can come in with a more objective view, to look at the stuff and help you decide, you know, what you really need to keep. It's going to be difficult, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to try and decide, I guess, for yourself, and only you can do that. But I would say maybe you need to get someone, if you have children or a cousin or a neighbour or something, that can come in and be more objective about what's really important for you to keep. Now I'm a minimalist, yeah, and I can totally understand that. Try to have little to no attachment, which I think is a great way to live, and very freeing. You know, and it's part of the reason why we never had pets. Well, we had bunnies for a short time, but We like traveling, and to put ourselves in a situation where we'd have to be constantly thinking about what we're going to do with a pet every time we go away on holidays is just for us that was just another anchor that we preferred not to have. Lake Macquarie, yeah, I think that's definitely an area we're looking at. We've looked at Maitland floods. Maitland had lots of flooding in the last floods that went through. So if we end up there, it's going to have to be on high land. Hi to Richard. I will. He's just walked through again. I will. I'll say hi to him next time he comes through. Hi, Penelope. Yeah, amazing what you do when you're young. And then you start accumulating stuff. I can't tell you how many souvenirs we bought in 4.5 years of traveling. Richard, Heather says hi. Did you hear that? In 4.5 years of traveling, and we thought, oh, we had this great idea. We'll get one beautiful memento from every country we visit, and we settled on plates. I think I've got one of those plates left, and everything else has either been given away or given to op shops because we just don't have the space for that stuff. They were beautiful, beautiful things, but you just can't. We've got our memories, we have our photos. I've got my travel diaries. I've been transcribing my travel diaries so that I've got them in a Google document and can get rid of the travel diaries. I had 5 of those. Judy, I'm a bit of a hoarder, so it's hard for me to throw things away. Look, I totally relate, Judy. Yeah, I found it really difficult. And in the end, I just had to be really tough on myself. And I'm glad I'm doing it. I've still got too much stuff. I've still got too much stuff in my kitchen. But we'll get there. But I also love cooking. So, some stuff I'm not going to get rid of. Hi, Rhonda. Judy, I agree. I think you need someone to come in and do it for you. And I tried to help my mum. If she's here, she might chime in. I'm not sure. I know she was at the beginning. I wasn't very much help. I still haven't been very much help. I think I took 2 old chipped cups to the op shop and we took some books to the little street library, and that was about it. I haven't been much help to her at all, but I did point to certain things and say, look, maybe you want to have a think about this. Do you really need to keep this? There's so much china and stuff that isn't used, and it's really just sitting in a display cabinet, and she knows what I'm talking about, and we'll get there, won't we, Mum? We all do, Ronnie Lynn. I think we have a ridiculous attachment to stupid things. Yeah, I mean, in one plastic tub that I currently have in the bottom of my wardrobe, which was kind of the stuff that sat in my bedside drawers, I've got all my kids' letters to Santa, and some years they used to just. Do you know, my girls said to me later, why did we get Bratz dolls? Why didn't we get Meccano and Lego? Well, I'm looking at their Christmas list and looking at what they've got in there, and they've cut out like department store catalogues with little pictures of Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls. Why did I buy them Bratz dolls? Girls, that's what you put on your wish list. So Anyway, I've got all those letters to Santa sitting in that plastic tub still. And I'm reading them. I'm going, I can't throw these out. I said to Richard the other day, I can't throw these out. How could I throw them out? Maybe I need to give them back to them and they can throw them out. Judy, I've downsized 3 times since living in a large home on 5 acres with 3 children and a bunch of animals. I can imagine. Yeah. And when the bigger the house, you tend to fill it, don't you? I mean, I'm sitting in a room at the moment with 1 chair. I think you saw it when I came in. 1 chair and 1 table, and it's feeling very empty. And obviously you want to fill a room like this, which is all the more reason why we want to live in a smaller space, so we aren't tempted to fill it up. Oh, bye, Fliss. I'm sorry, you've probably already gone. Yeah, it is. It's really good to be close to your kids. And Lake Macquarie area is lovely. Oh, that's Jackie is your daughter. Yes. Oh, I met Jackie. We went to, what was the name of the beach? Broad, was it Broad Beach or Broad Meadow or something like that? We went to the beach there because Newcastle Pool was being refurbished and it was closed. So we met her at that beach there, and she had her two dogs with her. It was lovely to meet her, but I haven't seen her for ages. I know she's very busy. And say hi to her for me, Judy. I haven't seen her for ages. Thanks for the follow, Rhonda. And if there's anyone on the tour this morning who isn't already following me and wants to see more of what I do, I'm still going to be in the mountains for another, few weeks at least. I mean, the house hasn't sold yet, and it's going to take 6 weeks to settle once it's sold. So I still plan to do tours up here. And in fact, I'd love your input. If there was a favourite tour that I've done in the past, like I'll go back to Lincoln Rock, for example, or back to Echo Point. Just let me know if there's something you want to see again. Walking around Wentworth Falls Lake, we can do them again before I go. But if you're not following me already, hit that follow button, and you'll get notifications when I post either a new tour, like I just did last night with the Nepean Bell tour, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. Mum and Dad have been on that, and it's lovely, just sailing up the Nepean River into the Nepean Gorge. Let me see. Rosa, hi Rosa. Laurie, I don't think I do. I don't think I have any regrets from anything I got rid of. No, I don't think so. The travel souvenirs, we enjoyed having them for, 20 years, 25 years. So they were around us and we enjoyed having them for that long. So now this is just at the next stage. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to living a simpler life and being free to either, move around or travel or whatever. Yeah, Kari, I agree. Marie, I'm in the process of decluttering, minimalising. Do you know what's the worst thing for me? I've got a suitcase full of fabric. Anyone else here sewing, does sewing? And I also have a very strong attitude towards waste. And I do stupid things like make patchwork, crazy patchwork out of tiny little bits of fabric and to make them into bigger pieces of fabric so I can make bags out of or something. But the bags go to a good cause. There's an organisation called Esker Bags, which was started by a young lady by the name of Stacey, who's doing an amazing thing for women escaping domestic violence. And I haven't had a chance to in the last 6 months. I make bags that she can fill with personal products for women escaping situations of domestic violence. So that's a fantastic cause. Esker Bags, look it up if you're interested in knowing more about that. Let me see. 3 adult sons left the house as young adults. Yeah, lots of donation items. Did you say that you would get rid of your travel diaries? Well, I'm transcribing them, Jill. So we're reading them. I'm transcribing them. I also asked when we travelled and we sent postcards and letters to family, I asked them to keep those postcards and letters, and they gave them all back to us when we got back home. So they're being inserted into the entries in the travel diaries, and I'm photographing the postcards as well. So I might have said something in a postcard that I didn't actually put in my diary for whatever reason. So there's new information there or other experiences that weren't actually in the diaries. So I'm actually creating a document, a digital document, but it's my travel diaries, and the diaries can go. Once I've transcribed them, they can go. I don't need to keep them. Judy, yes, I agree. A lot of things do have memories. Artwork, children's artwork. I know. I think give it to them. I have done that. I hung on to kids' artwork for the longest time. I think we've kept 1 or 2 pieces for each of them. But otherwise, maybe give it back to him. Say, oh, I thought you'd really enjoy seeing this again. I don't know. Has he got kids? Maybe they'd like it. scan them. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Laurie, with photos and the travel diaries. I'm scanning them, and the letters. Absolutely. People are what count. At least you and your husband are still together. Yeah, I feel sad for what I left behind. Yeah, each and everyone to their own. I can't possibly make a decision for other people. It's everything's based on your own personal experience. The nest emptying is very hard. I find bonsaiing. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Sarah. You get something out of doing bonsai? Patterns and fabric. I managed to get rid of most of the patterns. That was a wrench too. I thought, I'm going to make this. I know I'm going to make this one day. No, I'm not. Give it away. Get rid of it. Yes, I will definitely still be doing Heygo, Penelope, wherever I end up going. You may have noticed when I've gone down to my stay at my mother's place, I often do things around the northern beaches, and I plan to do the same thing when we move. Just adapt to where I'll be in my new situation, or even if I'm traveling, I'm going to attempt to, do to it. The hardest part about being on the move is preparing for a tour. So it's ideally that, Heygo recommends that you have a tour up, at least a week before you plan to do it, and that you've scoped it, and that you've tested the signal, and that you've done the route at least once, and all of this sort of thing, which can be a little impractical if you're on the move. So I still plan as much as I can through YouTube and Google Maps, and by going to signal test sites and all this sort of thing. But I plan to do as much Heygo as I can. Enjoy Kangaroo Valley. Kangaroo Valley is beautiful. Oh, I love the old bridge there in Kangaroo Valley. Hi, Dean. And is that close to you? Maria, you asking me about Lake Macquarie and Newcastle? Newcastle from here is around about 2.5 hours away by car. You don't have to go right through the centre of Sydney. You turn off through sort of like the middle inner west suburbs, and take the motorway, and it's around about 2.5 hours. Thanks, Sarah. Look, I really had no idea how this tour was going to go, and we've already gone over time. I'm just trying to catch up with everyone's comments. It is emotional. I wasn't expecting it to be emotional. I thought we'd sit down and you could ask me what my favourite colour is and if I've got any pets, but look where we got to. Look where we are. Oh, okay. Bonsai's your fifth child. So that's your child's name. Okay, understand now. So Bonsai is the one that's 17, still at school. It's good that you have someone still close to you. Jane, I thought you were from the UK. I don't know why I thought you were from the UK. You're from Colorado. Okay, my brother actually lived in Colorado for a while when he first left Australia. And he's never been back, never come back. Well, he's been back, but he stayed living in America. Where are you moving to? I came in late. Penelope, my daughter bought a house in Newcastle. She demolished a double garage and 2 sheds, and we are building a granny flat in her backyard. So that's our one of our plans. One of our options is to live in the granny flat, but it's going to be about 4 or 5 months before that's completed. So there's going to be a little bit of a period in there in between where we're not sure where we're quite going to be. In fact, we're exploring house sitting as an option. I just need to decide which site to go with. I don't want to sign up to them all because they all involve an annual fee. But house sitting and pet sitting might be an option. I don't want too many dogs though. I don't like cleaning up after dogs. I don't think I want to do that. I know you dog people are on a different page to me as far as that goes, but I just can't do it. Sorry. A cat or a bird, maybe. You love my accent, Heather. Do you know what? Yesterday, when I was heading out to my tour at Lithgow, and Lithgow's where Natalie bought a house, Heather. So we've got one with a house in Newcastle and one with a house in Lithgow. You couldn't get much further apart. Well, you could, but it's a long way. I mounted the phone in a phone mount and hit the video button. So I've recorded from Mount Victoria to Lithgow, going down through Victoria Pass and out through Hartley. It's beautiful countryside through there. So that was about 25 minutes of video, and I let the radio go. So all you've got is radio presenters, and you're hearing them interviewing people, and then the news comes on, and then there's another story that comes on by a different presenter. I might send you a link to that privately. I don't think I want to list it on YouTube publicly because it's a bit long and maybe boring, but you get to hear 3 or 4 different Australian accents, and it's actually quite funny. Anyway, I don't know if you're interested in that. I might edit the video down for actually putting on YouTube. Let me see. Sorry, people are laughing, and of course I'm 10 minutes behind the conversation, so I don't know what you're laughing at. But anyway, I'm glad I'm providing entertainment for you today. Let's go across Australia. Yeah, it's hard when the family gets dispersed, isn't it? Let me see. Where are we? Judy lived in Boulder for 28 years. Wow. Yeah, my brother worked in a ski resort for a while somewhere in... Okay, I'll do that, Heather. I'll send you the link. All right, we've gone way over time, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed seeing my house and my yard. And I don't know if it was helpful talking about downsizing and decluttering and simplifying your life or not. But anyway, there you go. And hi, Camillo. Do you know, the one thing I don't like about Heygo is that people can see what's live and happening now and jump on a tour, and they have no idea how long the tour's been running for. So I'm really, really sorry to anyone who's just jumping on. I was just about to finish up. Look, you're welcome, everyone. And if it helped to you to get to know me any better and you've enjoyed the chat, then you're very welcome. Hi, Ms. Cat. And Ms. Cat is a guide. I haven't had a chance to join your tour yet. Would you like to pop in your channel into the chat so that everyone can see it? Yeah, it is exciting and scary, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh, okay. Thanks, Laurie. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Yes, please put your tour in the chat. I'll leave the tour open until Ms. Cat puts her channel link in the chat so everyone can meet her, because she's new as a guide to Heygo, and this will give you an opportunity to find her and check her channel out. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, let me just turn the camera around again briefly. Here we go. So this is where I'm sitting now. This is our brand new carpet. That's looking out through the back bedroom, through the windows, out to where the pool is. Thanks, Ms. Cat. Should that say Ms. Cat Can Do? Not a K, not K-A-Y, K-A-T, I think is the correct link there. All right, everyone, I'm going to love you and leave you and finish my tea. And thank you again for joining me. I got 2 mouthfuls in. You can tell by my cup. It's my birthday next Sunday. I'm going to try and book a birthday tour next Sunday, and hope you all can join me. Love you all. Great to see you. And Heather, love to Rich. Lovely to see you, and thank you so much for joining. Really happy to see you. Okay. And look, you know, I don't expect tips for this tour. It was just a, you know, chat, walk around my house. But please join my tour tomorrow. We're going to see the sculptures down at Bondi. And oh, I understand now, Sarah. I wasn't sure what you meant because I'm trying to catch up with the chat as well. All right. Thanks, everybody, and see you again very soon on another tour. Bye all.